And I'm Debbie Campany.
And we welcome you to Let's Get Real. As we always say, how did Let's Get Real get started? We just felt like we've been Christians a long time, and we see that people have things going on in their life they'd really like to talk about and not necessarily get that patent Christian answer, even though we know that there's so much that we glean from the scriptures to help us move into life more abundantly. But there are sometimes things we want to talk about without getting necessarily the Christian answer in the way that it's always given.
Exactly.
Right? The way it's always given.
Yep.
So we just finished talking about how to react to people who are know-it-alls, and the show before that, and being a know-it-all and being a victim and all that sort of thing. So now on our third show on this topic, we're going to talk about staying in your lane. Which can be kind of difficult sometimes, really, when you think you have the answer right.
Yep.
And you really know that you have that answer. And so let's start in this. When sometimes we're in that place we just want to rescue people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever?
Yeah, I know a lot about that, Pastor Sherry.
How come you know so much? I think you've told me over and over again.
Yeah, I'm a codependent in recovery.
Yeah, well, I've realized I'm probably one too, but not with everybody.
It's funny, isn't it?
I am with enabling my son, who has a lot of issues in his life, and you're trying to fix it, you're trying to help, you're trying to be there for them, to say, you know what, let's do this, let's try this. Okay, I'll give it to you this time, and blah 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 blah. Yep. Of course, when you've dealt with addicts or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, okay, one of the first things that I learned in my recovery from codependency was about staying in your lane, and it scared the daylights out of me, because I had to realize that in my rescuing, it was also a safety thing for me.
Yeah,
it really
it is protecting yourself.
Yes,
too. You love them.
Yes.
You're trying to protect them, but you're protecting yourself. Or you're protecting them from someone else, and you're protecting yourself from somebody else's reaction to. So you're overcompensating, enabling this person, and it's a mess.
That's such an amazing way, though, for you to just put that. Codependency is an overcompensation of care and safety and concern.
Oh, because we care. See, don't get mad at me because I care.
We care, but, and the part about codependency is in not staying in your lane. I guess we can probably talk about that a little bit. Is that it does damage to myself.
Oh, it's gut-wrenching.
It is. It totally is.
And you keep trying and trying, and nothing changes. And I mean, I've been at points in my life where I'm like, if this is what it's going to be the rest of my life, I don't want to be here. Because I don't have any more answers. How am I going to help? I can't help anymore. And of course, people always say, well, then you need to, step aside. Well, sometimes you're in situations that you're not given that liberty. Does that make sense? You're just not given that liberty. I know people that move away, or they do this or that, but if you're not in those shoes, it's a little harder.
And in all seriousness, it's like, the staying in your lane takes such a measure of spiritually surrendering. You have to surrender the other person. You're surrendering your will to God over the other person. You are trusting God with whoever. And it takes a lot of self-discipline and self-control. And, that's one of the fruit of the Spirit. So it's like, first and foremost, it's a surrendering to God. But it's, I always pictured like stay in your lane, the highway, right? So I'm driving down this highway, and the normal highway has the double yellow lines in the center. So you've got two people going in two directions, or you've got people traveling together, whatever it is, right? But then occasionally you'll get the dotted lines where you can pass. So it's really like it's not black and white staying in your lane.
Thank you for saying that.
It's not a black and white perspective.
For everybody who has an opinion of how you should be handling the situation.
Exactly. exactly.
And they've never been there.
And they've never been there. But it's not black or white, because there are some times when you, like, I have asked. Here we go back to that, asking if I can give feedback or opinion. I have asked, hey, are you open to a suggestion? That is me crossing over the dotted line and going into the other lane.
That's
but then
good.
I go right back into mine after I've delivered what I need to deliver.
But when you start talking about the highway, you know what I kept thinking of? I remember having to travel a lot in Michigan, and my mom would always, be careful on those 2-lane highways. And say, here you're going, and the other one's going this way. And sometimes that's what you feel like when you're trying to help somebody or whatever, like you say, the enabling thing. And they're going in this direction and you're going in this direction. And, there's no stop lights forever. And, sometimes if they cross that lane, they're going to crash into you. And I feel like, how many times have you felt like you crashed?
Exactly.
Right? You just crash.
Exactly.
And then you crumble. And you really need some help. You really need to go to the hospital, but nobody's taking you there. Have you ever felt like that? So, because we've been in the same shoes.
Yes.
And you're like, please don't give me your opinion. Could you just hold me or help me? And they're saying, nobody can help you. Nobody can help you. You already decided you're going to do it like this. And it's not that way. You're trying to run out of options, especially being in the ministry. You're like, well, I'll try this one, or I'll try this way, or this is, and sometimes this is what I have found out. Okay, I've counseled a lot of addicts even in my office, and I have 100% success rate. But the problem is, your own family doesn't want to listen to you. They don't want to listen to you, and then you have the opinions of other family members telling you what you should do, and you're like, you think I haven't tried that one?
I know this. This is one thing that I've learned about staying in my lane, is that I do not want to be responsible for someone that I so imparted my opinion or my thought process on, that they went and did what I said and ended up crashing into a brick wall. I don't want that responsibility. And when I finally realized that I didn't want that responsibility, that's when I surrendered to God myself, and I understood the difference between me forcing my opinion, forcing what I think somebody should do onto them, versus me sharing my thoughts, sharing what worked for me, my own experience, strength, and hope. And that's why it's so important for me to do my own work, because the more work that I continue to do on myself, it's more experience, strength, and hope that I can share. I have more in my memory bank, and I can share with somebody, and they may share something where it impacted them.
I can take bits and pieces of what you've shared.
Exactly.
And that's what's it. You don't
Leave
have to
the
take
rest.
all of it.
Exactly.
Okay. What's that old saying? You chew the meat and spit out the bones, or something like that.
You take the catfish dinner.
Yeah, but the thing is, and sometimes what that person, what it works for you. I may be dealing with somebody with multiple issues.
Exactly.
All right. So so much goes into play.
Listen, we're not
experts. We're not victims.
experts. But I said, none of us are the same. God made us individually. Now one of us are the same. The fingerprint says so. Okay, we're not the same. We are different, and God already knows what's gonna work for us. Who's gonna come across our path? And what I found is, the more that I just give it to God, instead of sharing what God is showing me. And I think a lot of times we'll make the mistake of, I'm seeing something for someone, and I see where it's going, and I feel I need to share this with them. But it's not for me to share it. It's for me to keep it and pray over them as they walk it out.
Or understand.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's just coming to that understanding. Unfortunately, in my situation, someone had to step. people giving the same answer of my situation over and over again. Like, I want to say, you think I haven't tried that? Okay, we don't have to keep going down this conversation over and over again.
You know, another a big portion of this is for me staying in your lane is like I have to clean up my own side of the street. So that should be a full-time job for me, which it is, cleaning up my own side of the street.
Not me.
Yeah. so so the more I'm focused on me, the less I'm focusing on someone else's what they may be experiencing. Now that doesn't mean that when we're dealing with loved ones that are going through something that it's not going to touch us.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to rub up against us, but if I'm continuing to do what I need to do for myself, it's not going to push me off my road. It's not going to push me off my path. I'm going to be able to literally see clearly what is happening with them. And let's just go back to what we've talked about in the last few podcasts. Take that pause and ask God, okay, God, what should I do with this? And this is something I put into practice with my program. It's like we say, practice the pause. That's part of what that's a slogan. Practice the pause. There's power in that pause. If we can just learn to slow ourselves down. But most of the time, until we do have that discipline, that we can be reactive to it. So in staying in my own side of the lane, I always keep that picture of that roadway in front of me. And when I know that I'm getting ready to pass, it's like
I'm gonna get one of those pictures and put it right in front of me.
Put it up on it, like boom, and put a big old stoplight right over it.
Also, I think what happens is you finally come to a realization that you matter. We talked about that, in shows in the past, that when you have that good girl syndrome, then you think you want to fix everything for everybody. And you wake up one day and say, you know what, maybe I do matter.
Well, and the other part is what about all the empaths and the healers? There's people within the Christian community that are called to healing. Okay, they are empaths. They're very empathetic. You can feel what's going on with another human being. And this is a very powerful saying. An empath without boundaries is a codependent.
Say that again.
An empath without boundaries is a codependent.
Okay, well, that's going to be the next show that we talk about. Well, when we finally get to that place, though, that we don't know what else to do. Like you say, you just have to surrender it to God and ask Him to give you the strength to either, and the wisdom, what to do next. And especially if you're in a situation where it's multiple people, it's sometimes easier if you're just dealing with one person. But when you're living in a situation where one person in your family has an opinion, the next person has an opinion, but you're the one that's doing it all. So it's hard. I
find one of the best responses coming from someone who, or if somebody is giving you the opinion on something, is I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll take that into consideration.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give my secrets away now. I am the proverbial repeater of the same thing.
And then can be not good.
I hear what you're saying.
Have you ever been in sales? Okay, and then you start to realize they're just giving you the same answer that they've been taught to say. And after a while, you want to go blah blah blah. So Deb, next time you do, I'm going to go blah 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 blah. How many times I have to hear that? All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up. I think our time's done. Staying in your lane. We encourage you to share this. I have to hit this board. To share this on all your pages. And once again, we invite you to Victory Worship Center, 1915 North A Street in Lake Worth, Florida. It's an amazing church. At 10 a.m. on Sundays, the Tuesday Experience, my favorite night of the week to see the power of God move. You come and check out 7 p.m. on Tuesday evenings. Even if you're at another church, come visit us on Tuesday and just drench in the presence of the Lord. I have my Thursday morning chat, 8:30 sharp on Facebook, and I think that I got it all.
Yes.
So We have another show coming up. We hope that you'll tune into it for our last part of our opinions section, and it's going to be boundaries. You don't want to miss this. Deb's really good at this, all right? She knows how to stay in her lane and boundaries. All right, we'll see you next time on
Let's Get Real.